everybody, welcome to the video, and I'm here today to show you how to start learning how to draw. Um, Drawing is a very fun thing to do. It takes a lot of patience and practice, but once you keep drawing and you keep practicing and learning from real life, and you'll become really good. It just takes a lot of practice. So anyway, I want to go ahead and show you guys how to start drawing simple stuff and start thinking like an artist. So what we're going to do first is start drawing simple shapes. So I'm going to start drawing a circle. And what I want you guys to do is go get a paper and a pencil, and I want you guys to do the same thing with me. I know that when I watch a lot of YouTube videos, um, I just watch it. I don't actually like draw with whoever's drawing on the screen. I just watch it from the couch or whatever. But what I want you guys to do is just get the actual paper and the actual pencil and start drawing with me. Um, so I'll give you guys a second to go ahead and do that, and then we'll be back shortly to keep drawing. Okay, everybody, we're back. So now we're going to start drawing a circle, just to start the simple things. So here I am going to start drawing a circle. And what you want to do, you want to have like a very sketchy circle. You don't want to just draw a circle, because chances are the circle is going to be crooked, it's going to be messed up. You want to be very sketchy with it. So just kind of keep going around until you've got a good shaped circle. You can just keep it very light. You don't want to ever draw very hard, because then you can't erase it if you make a mistake. So make sure as you're drawing the circle just to keep it very light. And we're just drawing simple shapes because that's what drawing is all about. It's every drawing starts with a simple shape, and if you can get the simple shapes down, then you can get more complicated things down. So this is very good practice just to start drawing accurate shapes. So here I'm just kind of finishing the circle. I'm not being quick about it. I'm trying to be patient until I got a good size circle. Okay, so if your guys' drawings look more like this, like that, I don't know if you can kind of see that on the camera. My video camera is pretty bad quality. But if your circle kind of looks like this, like an oval, then you probably have to redraw it, because with drawing you have to look and compare at your reference. You have to be thinking, does this drawing look right? You know, does it is it shaped right? Is it crooked? You know, is it too small, too big, too fat, too narrow? You have to be able to judge these things. So when looking at this picture, this circle and this circle, you can tell that this one is off. So what you want to do, you can erase it and you can go back and redraw it, or you can just shape it. I just something I call shape the shape. So you can fix this just by kind of drawing around it. So what we want to do is we want to make this rounder like this one, because it's too narrow. So we want to go ahead and start shaping it, making it more round. Maybe cut it off, because I guess my camera only reaches a certain extent. So let's see, just kind of draw it and shape it. Make it more like a circle, not so much an oval. Okay. And sometimes when you're drawing a circle, sometimes you could be drawing it too fat, and if it's too fat in that case, then kind of just cut it down a little bit, you know. So I'm just going ahead and trying to fix it, just kind of shaping the shape, making it more round until I've got a pretty good accuracy to the original. See, like if you compare the two now, it looks way more accurate than what I did before. And that's the key. Whatever you're looking at, whatever you want to use as a reference, You just want to make sure that your picture looks as accurate as possible to the original. And if it doesn't, just keep working on it, keep drawing until it looks accurate. And those are the key questions you have to ask yourself. Does it look accurate? And is there anything wrong with the picture? If you can answer those two questions and say that, yes, this looks accurate, and no, there's nothing wrong with my picture, then you're good to keep drawing to the on the next step, whatever you're drawing. So this is just a simple circle. So now I'm going to be drawing another shape. I want to be drawing a square, just for your practice. All right, guys, so we're back, and now we're going to be drawing a square. So first thing you want to do is a square has very straight lines, so you want to go ahead and draw straight lines. Make sure if they're crooked, if your square is kind of off like this, or if it's kind of like squiggly like that, then chances are you have to think about the way you're drawing. See, if you're going really slow like this as you're drawing, then you're going to get squiggly lines like that. So you kind of want to make your lines kind of smooth and quick, kind of like this if you can. You don't want to go too fast because sometimes you can get a little off. See how it looks kind of crooked? So you want to be like both fast and slow at the same time, if that makes any sense. Kind of like this. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. I'm gonna give my square a lot of lines in it. Let's see. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. We can go ahead and continue drawing our square. So again, just make sure you're drawing very sketchily and until you've got a pretty good straight line. Now we're gonna do the bottom, and you're gonna make sure that is straight too, because the square has even sides. So we're gonna kind of judge just by eye if this looks accurate. I might need to put it down a little bit more. But now we could draw this line right here. And that looks about accurate. I would say it's about the same height. So now we could connect it. Okay. Okay, so now we got a pretty decent square. And if you don't like these extra little lines right here, you can kind of erase it to make it cleaner. This eraser I'm using is just a regular shaped eraser. I forget where I got it. I think I got it from Michael's. But you can use a kneaded eraser, and a kneaded eraser allows you to shape what you want to erase, and then like a regular square eraser or something like this gives you a little bit more, allows you to erase at bigger distances, or just it could erase more of the picture. I don't know. But yeah, you can just use whatever eraser you want. So just look at your drawing right now and compare it with my square. If your drawing is kind of like this, then, or if it's not like that, you know, just compare your drawing to my drawing. But looking at this square and this square, you can tell that there's obviously a difference. First of all, this square is too small. When you're using a reference, sometimes like you could be looking on your phone or the camera, and you want to draw what you see to a different proportion, and that's fine. You just have to make sure that the proportions kind of look right from the screen onto your paper. It doesn't have to be the same size, because sometimes what you want to draw will actually be too big, like the actual reference would be too big or too small. But anyway, if your drawing kind of looks, well, just compare your drawing to mine and see how we could fix it. So right now, it's gonna be a little bit wonky. So what we want to do is kind of shape it. And I know this isn't the right size, but we just kind of want accuracy as far as like the shapes go. So I'm going to go ahead and start reshaping it to make it look more like the drawing that I drew. So you just kind of want to keep shaping it, make sure it's right, and then keep shaping it until it looks about right. So now I just kind of want to erase those lines that I am not happy with, that don't look right, until I've got the shape that I'm going for. So ask those questions again. Does it look right? Is it accurate? And is there anything wrong with the picture? Does it look accurate? I would say yes, it looks pretty accurate. And is there anything wrong with it? Maybe I could fix this a little bit, or I could make this a little bit more even, but no, it's not. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So if you can answer those two questions like I just did, then you're good to go. So now that's a square. And now what I want to do, I'm going to look for something to draw, and I want you guys to practice drawing those shapes with me. It's not going to be like a boring shape like a square or a circle. We're actually going to draw a character. So stay tuned. Alright, so I found a picture on the internet of something we could draw. In case you guys didn't already know, this character, his name is Kirby, and he's from Nintendo. And he's just a cute little guy, and the reason I wanted to choose him to draw was because he has a lot of simple shapes. He has a lot of circles and ovals that make up his character, and for a beginner artist, he's a pretty good practice start. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start drawing Kirby. And we want to start out with the basic shapes first. So Kirby, his whole body is this big round circle. So kind of like what we did before, we're going to draw another circle and make sure that we have it right. Let me just check my camera. Okay, everything looks good. Okay, now we're just gonna start sketching a circle. Make sure, again, that you're really light with it. You aren't going too hard, because if you go too hard, you make a mistake. It'll be really hard to erase it and get rid of it. So let me see if you guys can see it on the camera. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so I think we got a pretty good circle. And now what we want to do is compare it. So I think the circles look pretty similar. Okay, so now what we want to do is maybe draw the arms. And with the arms, you kind of want to start with like a backwards C, kind of like this. You know, just kind of have like a backwards C. I know it's kind of touching this, but maybe I could scoot the drawing over just a little bit. Okay, so we just keep sketching like this, and we make sure to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to draw another C shape here, right here. Okay, so and then we compare it again. So as we compare it, this is a bit rounder, and if you compare this to the original drawing, it's the circle's kind of pointed down, sort of like this, if you guys can notice that. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of cut this a little bit and make it more down. If that makes any sense. It's really hard to explain drawing and art like as a tutorial, because it's kind of like, oh, we'll just draw this shape or draw it that shape or draw it like this. You can't actually use like scientific terms, mathematical terms to figure out how to draw, so it's a little bit hard to explain the shape that I'm looking for. But anyway, if you can get your shape kind of like a falling down C shape on both sides, then you'd probably be pretty good. Okay, so now we got the arms taken care of, now let's go ahead and do the feet. The feet are, again, kind of like the arms, except they're a lot bigger and they're a lot fatter. So if we could just kind of start with like a half circle right here. And then we're going to do another half circle that kind of connects it like this. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Start with the circle and then bring it around, kind of like that. Okay, so now what we do, we compare, we compare the circles to this one. So this looks too round and this is pointy. This is also a little bit bigger than this. So we're going to go ahead and make it pointy, kind of just shape it, and then make it bigger. So bring out this line a little bit. Okay. And I do on the same thing on this side. Make this side a little pointy. And bring it around right here. When I was doing this drawing, I was using a Pentel brush pen, and the lines kind of look wonky and crooked, and that's my mistake. I should have used a regular ink pen. If you're a new artist, don't use a Pentel brush pen because these are very difficult to use. I have trouble with this pen too, but I used it because it was the only thing lying around nearby. So just use a regular ink pen that you would use for like school or something, and that'll work fine. Anyway, so after you've got the basic shapes of the feet, what you want to do, let me get my eraser. Hold on for a second. Okay, so I got my eraser. Now what we want to do is kind of erase the lines that we don't need. So kind of like this, kind of erase it. I think really at this point we should only erase like lines that don't follow the shape of the original drawing. Anyway, so now we compare it again. So now we look at the feet from the original drawing. Now these feet right here, they look a little bit too big. So now we got to go back and kind of redraw it. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And that's what drawing is. There'll be people showing you how to draw stuff and they'll get it right like the first time. But realistically, that isn't always the case. You know, you're going to be constantly making mistakes over and over as you draw. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Practice makes perfect, and the more you're able to recognize a mistake when you're drawing, the more skilled you'll become at recognizing that something looks off. So now we're going to compare it again. This time it should be right, but yeah, that looks better. That looks better. We can keep it like that. It looks pretty accurate. Okay, so now what we want to do is start drawing the face. So to draw the face, what you should do is begin with little construction lines. And construction lines, you've probably seen this before, but you start with like kind of like a line right here that goes straight down the circle, and you draw another line that's kind of like right in the middle of the circle. Like right about here would be good. And what these construction lines do, is they tell you where to place certain things. So like the bottom of this line right here will tell me that the eyes go just above it. Whereas this line that's going vertical would tell me the space, like will tell me like this is where the midpoint is of the character. So now we want to start drawing the eyes. And the eyes are, they're ovals, and looks like they have two kind of half circles in there. So we're going to start with an oval. Make sure it's just a sketchy oval, you know, just go very lightly around and around and around until you have a pretty good shape. And you want to make sure it's even distance to your next oval. So we're going to start drawing the second oval. Maybe I should bring this a little over, just a smidgen. But yeah, just kind of start drawing the second oval. Okay. All right, now we're going to compare it. So compare your drawing to this one, the original, and kind of figure out what looks right, what looks wrong. In my second drawing right here that I did, this is a little bit far off, so we're gonna have to bring it a little bit closer this way. So I'm gonna cut it off just a little bit and bring it this way. Okay, and I'm gonna erase this line because I don't need that line, it only confuses me. So I'm just going to erase that. Okay. And I'm gonna continue shaping the circle till it looks about right to the other one. You know? And make sure they're the same size, the same shape, and the same distance. Because if they're not, the drawing is just going to look off. So it just takes practice. You know, you aren't going to get it right the first time, the second time, the third time. You know, you might. I don't know. It just depends on your skill. But again, it just takes practice and kind of just skill. So right now I'm just kind of measuring it between the end of the circle and trying to judge the distance. I think it's pretty good. So now what we could do is draw the mouth. And the mouth is probably going to be the easiest part of this whole drawing. So just draw like a half circle upside down, kind of like that. It's not too hard. So after we draw that, now we're going to draw the cheeks. And the cheeks are ovals, except they're horizontal ovals, and they're a lot smaller than these. So I'm just going to draw a circle, kind of just keep going until you got a good shape. All right, and then now we're going to replicate that on this side. So kind of just draw another circle like this, or oval, I'm sorry. And then that's good. So now we judge it again. We compare it to the original, and I would say that's pretty good. We don't really need to change anything because it looks pretty accurate. Okay, so now we're just going to draw the details in the eyes. So if we go back to the eye, we're going to draw like a circle right here. I'm just going to draw a circle in the very top left corner of the drawing, and then we're going to do the same thing on the side, just draw another circle right here. And we're going to judge it and see kind of the difference. This circle looks a little bit longer than this one. So I have two options here. I can erase it or I can redraw it. This time I'm going to erase it. So I'm going to erase this one. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, kind of like this. Okay, so I think that looks better now. It looks more even. All right, so now that we got the circles, we just need the pupils. So the pupils is kind of like another circle inside, kind of like this. So if you've got something that looks like this, then you're on the right track. If it's a little bit off, then you can go ahead and fix it again until it looks accurate, but that's kind of the look that we want to achieve. So now we got a basic sketch of Kirby. So what you can do now is you can go over it with pencil with just a darker shade and kind of draw around it like this. Kind of just press harder and trace around it until you get a good outline, kind of like this. Or what you can do is get your pen out and trace over it with the pen instead of a pencil. I think for this video, a pen would stand out a lot better than a pencil. So let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and speed draw this for you, so you don't have to wait around for me to finish. So here we go. that's all there is to it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped you guys learn how to draw a little bit better. Um, I think by looking at this picture, just by uh, comparing it, I think I made the feet too long again. And the drawing's just a little bit wonky, but like I said before, it's okay if you make mistakes and stuff. But I want to thank you again for watching the video and taking the time to just check this out. So like and subscribe if you like this video. Comment if you want to see me draw something else, or if you have any questions, you can go ahead and just message me below. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.